Those two reds above the black are not on. The other three reds are all available. There you can see he can get on those at any time he wants to.
Okay.
He'll be disappointed not to win the frame, because eventually he's going to have an angle either from the red to move the two reds into play or from the black. So Ding's gone favourite for 2-all. And still his highest break is only 28, which is about to be surpassed here. Yes, it's a strange game, Neil, isn't it? You've done all the hard work, you're playing beautifully, but you've got to win scrappy frames as well as open frames. He didn't do it in the previous frame. Looks like he's not going to do it here.
34. 35.
Has excellent close cue ball control. Ding.
41.
The other night, finishing his match off against Peter Ebden, he potted 11 consecutive pinks to win that. Black was out of commission on the top cushion, stuck on a red, and it was a study in cue ball control, that break. Very similar to this.
42.
Now he's trying to leave the angle on the next red, just to flick the red. He doesn't want to kind of move it onto a cushion, so he's just trying to finish just off straight on this red. If he's not just off straight, which he's annoyed about that, he's come back too far. You could see the annoyance in his face. So now he's going to have to play on the black or the pink to get the cannon. You can see he's overscrewed that 2 inches. 2 inches further to the left. He just runs through the red, flicks the red out on black or pink, end of frame.
Yes, the one place not to be was low there. Even if he'd left it a little bit higher than that, he could have flicked and played a stun across it and moved the red out, but still. Shouldn't be a problem 49. For somebody of Ding's capabilities, just to play a little cannon and force the red out.
Yes, he's 18 points in front. This is 25, so the two reds with colours. If this kiss goes right, it's all over, and it is. So this should be 2-all now. Well played, Ding Junhui.
56. 57. 64. 65.
Great response, this. Very good indeed. And we know he's got an abundance of talent, Ding Junhui. And added to this newfound application is going to make him a handful
71.
for anybody. Good stuff.
What a shot that was. The top spin there. Oh, even if he hadn't kissed the brown, it would have come off the cushion and got on the green. Played to move the blue into play. A little bit of exhibition
76.
snooker here. Still a century possibly. That's why I played to move the blue. I think we're going to get what we
80.
wanted. A classic final. I think both these players are hitting the ball really well. Oh, goodness me, nearly potted that. Well, the session, the highest break for Ding there was that break of 18. No other breaks above 30, but he's done what he had to do. Got back in the match. And we're all square at the interval. At 2-all.
It's a reminder that it's 2 frames apiece. And we have a new team in the commentary box for the remaining 3 frames of the afternoon as we say hello to Dennis Taylor and John Virgo.
Pretty good break-off shot from Ding then after the mid-session interval. Seems to be doing it again, John, in his previous match against Peter Ebden. Lost the 2 opening frames and then won 5 in a row. So he doesn't mind being behind. Of course, the best of 17 now. 3 more in this session, with a possible 10 frames this evening. Who's your money on, John?
Well, I must say I've been very impressed with Neil Robertson throughout the tournament. He just seems to have got stronger and stronger, but you'd never ever discount Ding Junhui. I think he's a great talent. And it's nice to see him back in a final and playing well, because I just felt for a couple of seasons now he's just lost confidence. We all know what confidence means at this game. And he just seemed to have lost it slightly, but as I say, nice to see him back. I think any sport needs an international flavour, and we've certainly got that in this final.
Yes, we've got a Chinese player, an Australian player, and a Dutch referee, Jan Verhaas. Very popular around the world, Jan, great referee.
Well, not a bad safety shot, but this red to the left corner is potable.
Yeah, it's one of those pots, John, that he would have to play it with check side to avoid canning into the reds and pink. If he wants to go full-blooded for it, that's what would happen. Well, he's managed to get round the back of them. And that was a terrific angle he made there, because it looked a thinnish pot. So we got a lot of screw and side.
As you say, he did do well to avoid the reds. Just looking at what the best colour to play here. It's a possibility he could play the brown if he's trying to disturb something. He's just having a look to see if there's anything available. It doesn't appear that there is. And the brown really is the only ball that gives him an angle. Well, maybe there's a possibility of a plant, but there's quite a gap between those reds. So maybe playing a cannon into the bunch. Well, as I say, there is a gap between these reds, but it can be made, as we could see from the shot behind the pocket. But it's no certainty, this.
Well, we'll know if it's in before Ding, because we're right behind it.
Six.
And this so often happens when you put all your concentration into a plant. You tend to forget about the cue ball, and well, it couldn't have finished any worse than that. Don't know if he can come off two cushions and try and land on the yellow. I mean, he can hit the black, of course, but
Yellow.
the yellow's the ball, but he's coming off the right side of the table to make contact with it.
Ding Junhui, 6.
Neil's got to be a little bit careful. If he comes down off the reds, got to avoid the one near the middle pocket. It's a natural cannon into that. That's the reason he's going thin off the right side. Has to be careful he doesn't go in off here.
Well, he flicked the blue, and this red will go past the black into this corner pocket, and every reason to play it. Doesn't have to do much with the cue ball. If he pots the red, bound to be on the black.
Very good there from Ding. And he's got an angle on the black if he wants to go into the red. It just touched the near cushion, but the pace allowed it to go into the pocket. He's pointing the tip of his cue, so that's what he's trying to get. But it's funny to control it when it's like this. That's the sort of line he would like to open the reds up. But if you hit it hard, you tend to swing it away to the right slightly. Let's just see where the white finishes up and into the reds. He's played it slow, but if he's too hard, he's out of position. I think if he had hit it hard, he might have. He was 8. He still would have moved the reds, John, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's very unlike Ding not to play the attacking shots. But sometimes you see it differently when you're down there on the table. I, like you, Dennis, thought he was going to follow that line and play it with pace. He's just about on this red, but well, they used to call it the old toaster, didn't they? Put a piece of bread on that and put it in the fire. It's tricky, though.
Yeah, that's a terrific recovery shot,
9.
especially with that implement, the old toaster. I never knew that, John. Must have been a Salford saying that. We didn't call it the toaster in Blackburn.
Well, it was the old open fire, wasn't it? When
12.
you stick something on and put it in the fire before toasters were invented. He's not bad on this red. I'm just wondering whether he can roll it in and cannon that red that's just by the black. The problem is, if he tries to get on the black, that red to the right of the black could be a blocker. The trouble is with a cannon, you've got to play it well. But the cannon looks to be the shot. Needs to hit the second red full ball, though. Not a problem.
13.
It's just they're a funny pack to go into from the black. It's the way the reds are there. Much easier to go in from the blue. Just depends on how Ding feels. Looks like he's heading for the blue. Oh, he's gone a bit too far, has he?
21.
No, just about okay. It's a thinnish contact, but he doesn't have to screw this. He just has to roll it in. In fact, he's now looking to see if he... well, he was looking at the blue in the corner, but there's no red available. Got to take it in the middle if he wants to open the reds. But it is quite a thin one. So key shot coming up. There is one available, as you can see. Still not straightforward with the positional side of the shot, though. Have to cannon into the reds, and the pink's available. Blue's in the open. You have to push it right through the reds. Watch the cue ball here. Played with a lot of topspin and played
27.
well.
Well, he's really starting to fire on all cylinders now, is Ding. And a couple of nice cannons have put the reds in nice potable positions. Everything really, you would think, set fair for a frame-winning contribution. Already got a 33-point lead. Lost the first 2 frames, but has come back strong.
And the pink may have to go onto the yellow spot, because that's the only spot available. And the blue may be blocked with the red to the left of it, so he might have to play up for the pink again here. He'll come round and have a look to see if the blue will go. That's what he's looking at. That would be to his advantage if it would pass that red.
$34.
Obviously does. So he's still in pretty good shape here. Although the black's completely out of commission at the moment. But I don't think that'll bother Ding, because we've seen against Peter Ebden his final frame where he potted 11 reds and 11 pinks to win a match. Never known that to happen before.
$39. $40.
I think he's also getting used to the pressure, John, of playing for his home fans. You get over 100 million people watching him back in China, and that's a big responsibility. And it's nice to see Ding, as you mentioned earlier, back playing there was a couple of years ago when he won 3 ranking
45.
titles. Lots of support in the audience for
46.
this very likeable Chinese player.
Yes, we always say how difficult it is for overseas players when they come to play on the main tour, which is based in the UK. Living out of a suitcase isn't easy, but of course his mother has come to live in Sheffield, where he practices, so
51.
that'll give him a bit more of a home life and stop him getting homesick. And we were discussing the other day about
52.
the emergence of Liang Wenbo. I think that helps as well, to have a pal, if you like, that you can spend some social time with, and practice, of course.
Just the start
57.
Ding wanted after the mid-session interval.
$58.
It all looks so good at the start, 2-0 up, but the way he's played in this Grand Prix, this is going to be one home dinger of a final. The boys in the studio couldn't separate them.
61. $62.
He's made 151 centuries in his short career.
69.
He
70.
really is one of the game's great break builders.
$77. $78. $84. $87. Thank you. 90. $94.
That's the colours he's potted in this break. The bottom of your screen. He's had a bit
99.
of everything. 1 yellow, 3 greens, a brown, 6 blues, a pink, 5 blacks. Somewhere over the rainbow there's a break there.
105.
A terrific round of applause from this crowd in the Kelvin Hall. What a start for the young Chinese sensation. He's made a century break straight after the interval, and he now leads 3 frames to 2.
Slightly ominous, you would say, from Neil Robertson's perspective, because this is the kind of form that he was showing towards the latter part of matches in those just gone by this weekend.
He has, but I think the matches, you know, in the balance, it can go either way. Both players are really playing to the top of the game. It's a fantastic standard. Ding produced a fabulous break there, and a lot of great shots within that break to keep it going, because the black was tied up, as we can see. But this is one of the best shots he played. Very controlled shot. Concentrate on the pot, but also watch the white coming through the pack to be on the pink in the corner.
27.
Very, very good shot. And as you saw, the black was tied up for most of that break, but he continued to work around the pink and the blue and keep the break going, and made another wonderful century. That's 2 centuries already in the first.
Steve, what would you say is Ding's greatest asset at the table?
I think he knows his way around a snooker table. He's very much in control, and he does it with sort of a lot less efficient, a lot less sort of demonstration of what he can do than others. You know, he really does make it look so easy. And if we look back to Peter Ebdon, who, when Ding Junhui first came on the scene, was saying he's the Mozart of the game in a way. Peter knows snooker players. You know, he's seen loads of them. For him to say that was a massive compliment. Perhaps all of a sudden we're seeing what he means.
Frame 6.
Okay, here we go. This is frame 6.
There's just 2 more frames now to be played in this session. Who's going to take a lead into this evening's final session of a possible 10 frames? It's Neil Robertson at the moment, who's playing catch-up.
Probably is a slightly easier pot, believe it or not. These boys are so good at that type of shot. I keep saying it, the players from the Far East, James Watana from Thailand was one of the first, and some of the balls he used to knock into the middle pockets, and that was a little gem he pulled out.
Eight.
I'm just wondering, he probably did play to get on the black there, but where would it spot? It would have to go directly behind the pink. It would still be available. So if he could get on the pink in a couple of shots' time, it's okay being on the black spot.
Well, he thought if he could roll the blue in, he could reach and play the pot on this red to the left corner without using the rest. What makes it difficult is the green and the brown, because sometimes if they're just in the wrong position, you just can't get right down on the shot. He's at full stretch here. He was at full stretch. They're always missable.
Ding Junhui, 13.
Well, it's amazing what players will do rather than use the rest.
Yeah, I used to refuse the shot, John.
Yeah. I think he misjudged that when he just rolled the blue in there. Left himself at full stretch. Could have stung down the table a little bit more. Chance for Neil.
One.
Just a slight nudge on this red. He doesn't want to hit them too hard. And that was his first pot. He had to sit and Wait for Ding to score 211 points, believe it or not. Well, you'd think he'd just play a delicate little nudge on that red, the middle of the three, but he's playing a cannon on the other one. Now, if he leaves an angle this time, that worked out just fine. But if he gets a good angle on the pink this time, he may go into the reds again.
8.
And the reason I say that is because he's guaranteed to be on one to either corner pocket. So the only thing is he doesn't want to just nudge the reds and leave the pink spot available. He'd rather have the pink on the black spot. And he has cleared the pink spot, which might make it a little bit more difficult.
14.
If he could get the black back on its spot, then he'd be okay. But he wants to get close to the black. Doesn't necessarily have to play for the black.
$15.
It's not just straightforward, John, is it, by any means, just the way the balls are situated?
Well, it would have been if he could have come straighter on the blue, but he's just run a little bit too far. And once that cue ball starts having to travel distances, it can go wrong. Deep screw on the green and cued it beautifully. Well, I think we may find out here if the black is available. As you say, he'd like to get the black on its spot. It looks as though it's right over the middle, but I don't think it's as straightforward as that. Now decided to play for the blue. Looking at it from that angle, that black's, well, a thinnish cut. And why take the risk? He's got the blue and he's got the pink available.
Yeah, if the pink goes in the left corner pocket, that would be a helpful situation. And if it doesn't, then the pink, well, slightly out of commission. It looked from our overhead picture that that pink would pot. We're still having to work very hard for these.
Yes, it did look as though
24.
the pink went in the left corner, but it doesn't. Now has he an opportunity to just drop this black in the middle. He's perfect on the red to play for the black. And as we've said, there's plenty of value in getting this black on the spot, particularly now the pink's tied up.
$25.
Well, he keeps looking at this black, but he's not being tempted, is he?
No, I think you'd have to get right in behind it to make it an easy pot. And as you say, why risk it? From that angle, it just shows you that it's not straightforward.
But having to keep going for the blue, as it happened, he's landed perfect on the blue this time. But it can go wrong.
Well, this next shot will clear
30.
the pink. The pink will be available into the pocket that he's taking the red. So for a few shots time, we know that that will be available.
$31.
This time he's come up a bit short on the blue, but he has the red near the pocket, the left corner. This break has taken almost 6 minutes, but it's because it's just very awkward.
$36. $37.
Now he's got to be very precise with the next shot. There's a couple of reds still available, but he's got an awful long way to travel with the cue ball.
Yes, and this is the problem when you've just got the blue to play for. Once you get the wrong side, and he's going to need a good shot here to get good position.
If he doesn't play it to move them, there's a couple of positions he can leave 2 reds on. I've put the circles up. He would leave a red to the left. Left circle would leave a red to the right, but you'd have to be very precise and avoid the yellow, green and brown. That's if he takes the blue. Oh, he's still on the red, but if he misses the green, he'd have been perfect.
42.
Key shot. If he knocks this in and gets nicely, he's back looking at the black again. He'd probably play for the pink or blue.
$43.
The chances there now. 30 the difference. He's had to work so hard for this break. Coming up to 8.5 minutes.
Whenever you go into the balls, you always
48.
trust a little bit to luck. The next red, he's on. He's got the red near the top cushion into the right corner, but it's missable. But you feel if he can knock this in, get good position on the next colour, the frame's at his mercy and should level the match.
Got to get on the blue here because, as you can see, the pink's not available now.
$49.
This is a bit like watching one of Steady Eddie Charlton's breaks, John, another Australian who was a firm favourite when he used to travel from Australia. He hadn't got the cue power this fella has, I can tell you. Great player, Eddie, but this fella's a bit special. Look at that shot.
54.
Yeah, generated a lot of topspin there. Really couldn't have played it much better. So
55.
this pink must go past the black. It doesn't look it, does it? I'm looking from this end of the table, but it clearly must pot, and if he rolls this in, surely that's end of frame. In it goes, and Ding Junhui Just overstretching on a long red, missed it, and he's sat down ever since.
61.
Just this red to leave Ding Junhui needing snookers. It was hard work,
62.
but it was worth it in the end.
Well, Ding made a century break in the previous frame, potting all sorts of colours. This was equally as good as the century break.
68.
And a possibility now of another century break.
69.
He's made 99 century breaks in his career. What a time to make a century of centuries.
$75. 76.
And wouldn't it be ironic? He looked at that black half a dozen times, John, and he maybe potted for his final shot of this frame.
Yes, and every likelihood that he will. As you said, he had to work hard, and of course when you're only
81.
playing for the blue, and a few times he got the wrong side of the blue, but played good recovery shots, positional wise.
83.
And you'd be surprised now if he didn't make the century. And a good one it would be.
86.
And he probably knows, normally you wouldn't, but he probably knows he's made 99 centuries. He knows this will be a milestone in his career.
90.
Perfect on the blue.
95.
100 hundreds coming up. Well played. Absolutely superb from Neil Robertson. Had to sit out the last frame. Got one chance in this. And did the business. We've got a cracking match on here. And Neil Robertson sits down, I'm sure, very contented. He's levelled. It's 3 apiece. Tough school, this, Dennis. One mistake and sit down.
Well, he opened the match with a break of 124, and now he's had that 108, and Ding had the 112 in the previous frame. It's living up to his expectations, John, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they're both potters and they're break builders. I think that is the modern game, really. There are one or two out there who try to win on a tactical type of game, but it's very hard these days, particularly as the balls open up so much. You've really got to take the bull by the horns, and when you get the chances, you've got to take them, and both players have done that so far.
Yeah, Ding just made one mistake, didn't he? He was stretching for a shot, and this was the one. And you mentioned the brown was slightly hampering him a little bit. He was fully stretched, still expected him to get it. He didn't end the frame.
The final frame of the session. Ding Junhui to break.
You heard referee Jan Verhaas saying this is the final frame of this session, and who's going to go into a 1-frame advantage for this evening's session. First to 9 frames, as you can see there. Now, will he slot this one in? That's one of his specialities. And the only ball you can leave is the one you have a go at, and he's left a half chance for Ding Junhui.
Well, he just squeezed the red in. I don't think there's anything that's available, but he's got the perfect angle on the blue. You see the shot so many times. Still got to be played and played well. Hit the pink, full in the face, open the reds. You put a little bit of bottom on the cue ball to try and hold the cue ball in the middle of the table. Imperative to hit the pink, full ball. Oh, well, would you believe it? And he's looked at the pack. He's hit the pink to me perfect. He can't believe the red went in. Neither can I.
Well, he did look at the pack to see if there was a plant on, but you couldn't envisage the red hitting another red and going in off that. He did look at it. You always have a look. That was very unfortunate. And this is the hardest part of the game of snooker. When you play a shot and you open the pack up and you're unlucky like that, you've got to sit in your seat and you've got to watch your opponent knock all the balls in that you opened up. Ding will be hoping that Neil can make a mistake. The balls are not ideally placed by any means.
6.
I'll just show you it one more time. As John mentioned, hit the pink full ball, but the red hit another red and then went in off. Well, if he's on this red to the right corner, it's not going to be easy to get position. Watch the cue power of the Australian here. He hit the other red and still managed to get the white to come back. The brown was always going to be available.
Brown.
Yes, he cued that really well. Look at it. He almost stopped the cue ball, didn't it? And then all of a sudden the backspin took effect and he's just about on this brown. It's not straightforward to pot the brown and get good on the next red. Not straightforward, and he didn't make a good job of that, really.
11.
That's why he's called the Thunder from down under. Neil Robertson special there. Well, the
17.
previous frame, we've seen how hard Neil had to work for the break. This is almost a replica, taking the more difficult pot to clear the path for the black. Oh, and can you believe it? We've had everything. Oh, what a mistake that
17.
is. It doesn't happen very often in professional snooker, but what a time to miss cue. The only consolation is he's covered the black, and you can see a little shiny bit on the tip there. As long as he hasn't taken a little lump out of it. That's why the players chalk the tip every shot. A little bit of sandpaper there, just roughing up the tip. Don't think it's done any damage.
Yeah, but what an error. And what a chance he had. If he could have potted that red, funny enough, he miscued so badly, it's another red, not the one he was playing. But if he could have got the red to the right corner, screwed round the back of the black, you thought he had every chance to win the frame. Putting the side on, and well, I suppose you can say that's bad cueing. Just dipped slightly. Well, he was hitting the cue ball, and it'll be a relieved Ding Junhui that comes to the table now. I would imagine a few moments ago he thought he'd lost the frame.
Thank you.
1.
As you say, Neil Robertson was a little bit fortunate because he tied the black up. Another day, that black had been the Alton available into both corners, and it would offer Ding Junhui a chance to win the frame at this visit, but highly unlikely the way the balls are situated at the moment.
Look where he's hitting the cue ball there. Right on the top. That creates the top spin.
Four.
Didn't quite get it as far up the table as he intended. Fully stretched. Bit of a free shot this, as long as he doesn't cannon into the red near the side cushion. I think he had one eye on that red, maybe caused him to miss the pot. It wasn't easy though. Not worried about the pot, Neil. He's worried about where the cue ball will go. It's going to cannon into something. There's no way he can take it on and get round the angles.
Yes, and if he cannon into the black and the red next to the black, he'd be highly unlikely to develop the black into a potable position. Well, I said that. It's not bad. It's a tricky black, but I'm sure he'll take it on. Trusted to luck. That kiss on the red near the top cushion helped matters. But fair play. He was brave enough to play the shot.
Very delicate, and he stayed down on the shot. He wasn't sure if the black was going to drop. He was still there. Look at the hand. He's still there.
Nine. $14. Thank you. 15.
Has he got the angle on the brown to screw up behind the two reds? Needs to screw up to somewhere near the circle. Well, they'll go in the right corner. It looked as if one was blocking the other. Just enough
19.
room to pass the other red.
20.
.37 points the lead. Pots the black, 44 points the lead. So a couple of reds, couple of colours, that's all that's needed. And I've looked at those two reds on the side cushion. We had a shot before. They're not far off a plant. Whether he wants to risk the plant or not, I don't know. Well, they're not a plant anymore. And has it gone wrong? Well, I'm looking at his body language. I think he's still on this red to the left middle.
27.
Sometimes you're better off, don't look at the balls, look at the player. Just on it.
.28.
Great performance from the Australian. He lost 3 frames in a row, but he's come back very strong here.
Yes, just this red needed to take a lead into the final session this evening.
36.
Well, everyone thought this was going to be a very close final. It's proving to be that way. Oh, a little reaction from Neil there,
43.
which is quite unusual. It just shows you how much he wants to win this final. I think Ding will, well, he'll maybe come back to
43.
the table, but that reaction from Neil Robertson told you that he felt he'd taken the frame. Might be able to show you the reaction here when he look, yeah, it's my frame, he's telling us. Nothing wrong with showing a little bit of passion, even though it's only the 7th frame. A very proud Australian. Will Aussie rule? I think Ding was ready to concede there, but he's just moved the black, so a very, very entertaining opening session to this final. Neil Robertson won the first 2, then Ding won 3 in a row, but the Australian come back and won the last 2 frames, and he takes a 4-3 advantage into this evening session.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chinese sensation, Ding Junhui! And here he comes, the Thunder from Down Under, Neil Robertson.
So it's 4 frames to 3 in Australia's favour so far. First and 9 will claim the Grand Prix title tonight. And waiting to talk us through the first part of the evening are Ken Doherty and Willie Thorne. Good evening, gents.
Good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everybody. This could be very special indeed. Neil Robertson has already had one milestone today where he made his 100th competitive century in frame 6, where he levelled at 3-all. So he's in great form. Already had 2 centuries in this match. Ding Junhui is at an 80 and 112. So that is the standard we're expecting this evening, Ken. It's still hard to call. First frame, big frame for Ding.
Yes, a massive frame, but
Thank you, ladies and
I think
gentlemen.
in the context of the match, it's been fantastic
Frame
snooker,
eight.
the highest quality. And I'm sure we're going to see
Neil
more of the
Robertson
same
break.
tonight.
So Neil Robertson getting this opening frame of the evening session underway, and he'll be pretty pleased, really, having been 3-2 behind to make breaks 108 and 43 to go one in front. Excellent session of snooker in the opening session. It's very pleasant to see Ding Junhui playing like we know he can. Been a little bit quiet for the last 2 seasons, but I've always been a big fan of this young man. Excellent break builder. Scores very, very heavily, as good as most. But he's going to have to leave Neil Robertson tight on that port cushion more often than he did this afternoon, because as we know, the Thunder from Down Under, as his nickname is excellent at this kind of shot.
Called it well, Willie. Trademark Neil Robertson pot.
We'd have to say he's probably taken over the mantle of Mark Williams now as the best single paw long potter in the game. Now and again just tends to lose the cue ball a bit in break building. That's probably the only thing he just needs to slightly tighten up if he's going to ever become world champion, which this young man can definitely do that.
Eight.
I saw him pot 2 balls at once yesterday, so he might be the best double paw pucker as well. Really was such a fantastic standard this afternoon. Both players at the top of their game. There's another fine example of the cue pair of Neil Robertson. Great shot.
13.
Just ran slightly. A bit too much, but look at the power he gets in this. Loads of top spin.
The side as well to help speed the cue ball up. Unfortunately for Neil here, the black's not available, so it's going to be really hard to get onto a colour here. The red at the back of the pack will obviously pot, but he's going to cannon into the bunch, and you can only hope bringing one out. That's why he's refusing the pot. He knows there's no value in playing the pot without a colour, so he's playing the safety. Don't blame him for that, because
Robertson,
he could have missed the red and split them all over the place.
It's a sign of his maturity as a player as well, Willie. His safety game has improved over these last couple of years. Again, another loose one from Ding. Well, I think he's covered that red. He's been very fortunate, but he's left a long red into this bottom left-hand corner pocket. Bit more pressure on this one though. He'll have to come up for blue. If he misses it, the red will be available for Ding into the right middle. So
I think he actually played the kiss, but he caught the other red first and still got the kiss, so this has given Ding an early opening. Yes, he was playing actually the cannon on the red, and he hit the other red first, but still got the cannon. Oh, that was a shock. That was a shock to the system. Didn't see him missing that one.
Just checking the pack there when he screws into these reds. White down behind the black. He just wants to make sure that nothing is going to go over either middle pocket. It's not the best shot in the world because he has left the red to this right middle, but it's fraught with danger. Not only the pot, but also what he might leave should he miss it. That's why he may not be taking this on.
Whenever you're playing this kind of safety, it's key to get the ball as near to the cushion as possible, preferably tight, so it stops the avenue of getting back behind the black. He's done that there, Neil. He's just about close enough to the cushion not to be able to, for Ding to be able to play a screw shot. So this is a tough position for Ding. He may have just to rest on the 3 reds near the pink spot just to play a containing safety. There is a red available in the middle pocket, which some people would be tempted. You can play up to the red to the right of the blue. That's the line the cue ball would be taking if you wanted to play the red in the middle. But it would obviously be fraught with danger. He went all out for the pot as I suggested, and I'm sure he felt he was going to cannon on the red to the right of the blue, and he just missed the cannon.
Yeah, just tried to kiss that red, just missed it. Just wanted to hit it full ball, just caught a quarter ball, very unlucky. Difficult pink to follow, or possibly the green.
I think when you go all out for a pot like that, Ken, you're entitled to get the kiss, aren't you? You get the pot. He was unlucky.
Paintball.
We won't see many better pots than that tonight. That was fantastic.
7.
And richly deserved to be on this red into the middle. These are so dangerous, aren't they, Willie? Going across and up.
I mean, if you did it out of 10, you'd probably pot it 7, so there was that
8.
3 out of 10 chance of missing it, and at this stage of the match it was a tough one to take on, but he's such a great player, Ding. He knows that he's going to have to let Neil Robertson know that he's here to fight this evening, and that is a real big sign for Robertson. He knows he can't take any liberties. Ding Junhui, you'd normally say he's now favourite to win the frame at this visit. There's plenty of loose reds.
13. 14. 19.
Just got a little straight on that blue, and that's like tried to force the angle to get out for this red into the right middle. way he would like, so may have to take this middle distant red to the bottom right hand corner pocket.
Good
queuing.
The boys in this studio, they'll love the opening 2 balls that Ding Junhui played here.
26.
The first red into the middle was fraught with danger when he never got the kiss. He then had to play an even more difficult pink. Both of them found the heart of the pocket, and in some ways I think when you play a ball like that you deserve to win the frame.
27. $32.
Mate, I like to get a nice angle on the screen, so I can just
33.
stun the green in and get over towards those 2 reds at the right middle. It's got a perfect angle here, so you can stun in behind them. Eventually he's going to need
36
to dislodge those 3 reds, will he, just below the pink at some stage, so he's going to need a nice angle off one of these reds.
Could get it now, Ken, couldn't he? Because the angle is going to come into the pink is going to be coming narrow, so he could leave the 3/4 ball pink here. It's better off the black though if he could, but he's got the angle on the pink now to do it. He's also play the blue this time though, because he's come a little bit too low for the pink, so blue's his choice. Pointless trying to get into them from the blue, because the pink of course you'd have to hit full ball.
42.
So there's no way in the world he'll play the cannon from the blue to them.
$43. $47.
Just eyeing up the angle here. He wants to leave the white, yellow to follow. Maybe just drop the yellow into the corner pocket and try and get in behind that red close to the left hand cushion. Thinking a couple of shots ahead here.
48.
Yeah, I think he's got a perfect angle. You can drop in behind the red, take it to the opposite middle. Well,
Ding Junhui.
that's a case where you just take your eye off the pot and concentrate on the position, and that's a cardinal sin as a snooker player. Just took his eye off the yellow, more concerned about where he was leaving the white, and that's a bad mistake.
One.
I think he's got the perfect angle here, Willie. I think he's played that absolutely spot on.
Yes, 34 in it, and the perfect angle on the pink to bring these 3 reds into play. The only problem is that if he plays full ball into the top red, he'll push the red on the cushion. There you can see he needs to really just flick them to leave one in the middle and one in the corner. If he plays it hard, he could knock one of them safe. Oh, we needed to get them quarter ball, hit them full, end of break.
7.
So I don't think he called touch and ball there, which makes the shot a little bit more difficult. Can't get back to ball here, so the only problem with this shot is if he rolls into them that he may leave Ding the touch and ball, and that's what he doesn't want. He's got to be careful here. That was a poor shot on the pink. I don't know why he didn't use a bit more power and force.
Yes, flicking off the red and leaving the white where his hand is, he'll push the second red that little inch or two down the table, which means he'll cover the bottom red as far as the potting angle is concerned. And if he does that, it's going to be a tough safety shot for Ding. The pink will possibly be in the way to get back into ball. And now it's not in the way if he can hit it very, very fine.
That's something like the line he will try and get. Just didn't got a little bit too much side there off the first cushion. And he's left this red. He won't be happy with that shot.
Even though there's 28 points in the difference here, that lead will evaporate quickly. So whoever pots the next red is favourite to win the frame. There are key moments in this game now, the next 2 or 3 safeties.
Just see enough of this red. Just left of the pink. Doesn't have to do much with the white. No, the yellow is over the pocket. Makes it that very heavy. That could be end of frame.
Not too sure whether he can hit this red hard enough to get on the green. If not, getting onto a colour, the yellow is obviously a certainty, but yellow to reds is too tough. He'd like to get onto the green here if he can off this red to screw up the table for choice of 2.
Yes, the red just ran on that little bit more, made this pot just very, very tricky. These middles are tight, but that's a good shot. Very well played.
And green is got on. So you either play this 2 cushions or 1, depending on which way you'll feel would avail the better position. Decided on the 1 cushion, and we mentioned whoever potted the next red is favourite to win it. Ding, obviously leading by 32 points, is almost a certainty
4.
now.
Five. 12.
Just the crowd acknowledge that was frame ball.
13.
It's been an edgy start from both players, Willie.
Yeah, both needed a couple of half chances. Obviously Neil's chance wasn't quite as easy as Ding's, but the shot he played pink to the 3 reds would have been very disappointing. He tried it. Sometimes he just try to be a little bit too careful. He's very aggressive.
20.
He needed to catch those 3 reds quarter ball. He caught them full ball, and that was end of break.
22.
So Ding, with a high break of 48 in this frame, has taken it quite convincingly in the end.
25.
This match has been going in sections. Robertson led 2-0. Ding won the next 3.
29.
To go 3-2 in front. Robertson won the next 2 to go 4-3 in front. We've never had alternate frames yet. I wonder if Ding is going to win 2 on the trot. One thing for
34.
certain, he's now levelled at 4-4.
40.
The frame started with 48. He missed a very, very easy yellow. Robertson had a chance. He didn't take it. Ding replied with 47 to take the opening frame of the evening and to level again at 4-4.
We get the feeling we might be in for a late night here in Glasgow, actually, the way this has been going. But these two men are possibly considered the vanguard of snooker. They've accounted for a large number of established names on the way to this final. But in case you don't know them too well, John, tell us a little bit more about what we need to know about Ding Junhui.
Well, obviously, he came through, won 3 ranking events at a very tender age. National hero in China and a fantastic player. It took him a little while after the O'Sullivan situation where he lost in the final of the Masters to come back. But in this tournament, he's really impressed me. I think he's been fantastic. He's shown great application. And for me, he's back to his best.
Neil Robertson.
Well, surprisingly, not as young as we sort of put him into the bracket. I think he's 27 years. He's actually had one bite at the cherry. One bite at being a professional. Fell off the ranking list. So that's 96 players on the main tour, and had to come back and do it again. So that probably held him in good stead. But so, effectively, he's slightly a late developer. When you look at some of the great champions that have matured at the age of 23, 24, 22, possibly in Stephen Hendry's case, but he's slightly later than that. But it seems like he's sort of back to the form that he showed a couple of years ago. And one thing in his advantage, I think, a big advantage, a big plus point, he doesn't seem to have any ties in his life. He has nothing going on in his life other than playing snooker. I'm not putting words in his own mouth, but that seems to be the way. He's 100% committed to the game of snooker and looks like he really wants to sort of take it further. And so for me, that's why I mentioned at the start of the day's play, I fancy he was going to be the eventual winner.
Yes, both teenagers when they first caught our attention, and both mature players, and I think we're going to be seeing an awful lot more of these men over the coming years.
Absolutely, Hazel, and I think one of them will win the World Championship, maybe both of them, but I'm pretty sure one of them will at one time or another.
It's quite unusual listening to Steve there. Neil Robertson really didn't start playing till he was 14 or 15. It is quite late, isn't it? When did you start, Willie? Can you remember
14.
that far?
Yeah, I can remember that far back, Ken. Yeah, I played in all the junior championships, and then my father, who was a minor, became a steward at a conservative club. It had a full-size table, and that's when I started. But I mentioned earlier on in commentary this afternoon that Neil resided at my club at Leicester for the first year of his snooker days, and I honestly must say that I didn't think he was going to be this good a player. He's proved me wrong, and he's an excellent player. He was just a potter when he came over, didn't have anything. His cue ball was extremely loose. Now I think he's one of the top 4 or 5 players in the world, without doubt.
Yes, and I think whatever happens tonight, I think he's up to provisionally number 3 in the world. So he's made great strides.
He's left one on here, Ken, that it's one of those, if you get the pot, you go around the back of the red and black. If you hit it thick, you can it into the red. Can make you look silly, these.
Yes, that's the angle he would love to get when he puts this red. But there you see it. Just a little bit on the thin side, but got the second half. And if he had to play that properly, that white would have been nowhere near that ball cushion. But he'd be certainly happy with that after missing the pot.
No chance of a pot here, but he's going to have to play this extremely fine, otherwise he'll catch the jaws of the corner. And he's caught the jaws of the corner. He needs a bit of help. And he hasn't got any.
Well, he's nearly potted it. I was just wondering, is that black pass? Well, obviously not.
1.
That could have been a bonus had the black gone by the red there, so he'll have to get on that red and free up the black eventually. Has to get on that red almost straight. There are a few options here. He did look to see if he went into the pack, but there was a few loose reds also. Just depends on how he feels. That's a good shot. Oh well. I don't think he's come far enough.
6.
Judging by his body language, there you see it. This red goes to right middle, so if it does, he can hold for the pink. He's gone up for the blue. That's a
7.
good pot, very good pot, and a perfect angle on the pink here if he wants to bring some more reds into play. Really does cue the ball so straight.
Yes, people are probably wondering why he's not taking the pink. He doesn't want to put the pink out of commission. It looks like the pink spot is covered. So he could get the same position with using the blue. We know that the red to the right of the black pot, so he's in no rush really to worry about getting that red for a moment. There you can see the pink would go out of
12.
commission. If it didn't spot on its own spot, it would go on the brown spot, which would put it totally out of play. Most of the matches this week, when we've had any of the top stars playing, we've been packed to the rafters. There's a beautiful picture of this arena. A lot of people would have been disappointed that John Higgins is not in the final. It was a classic match, one of the best matches we've ever seen yesterday. Which Neil Robertson pinched on the final black. But he played fabulous, and I'm sure they're just pleased to see top-class snooker. That's a little bit unlucky.
19. Neil Robertson, 19.
This may be touch and ball.
It's touching ball.
Yeah, it's very hard to avoid touch and ball there from Neil. So it gives the advantage to Ding. Somewhere up behind the yellow, or big target behind pink and brown on the ball cushion as well.
Yes, the red that's loose, he has to come inside that red and just go past the pack. Just came inside the red, just enough to get the good cue ball. Excellent. This game's all about fractions, isn't it? That goes in, easy red over the middle. No, it hasn't gone in. Tough safety shot for Ding.
Just got to be careful here, Ding. Doesn't want to leave the white in the middle of the cushion. Where, well, that's not too bad, but he may have left this red on to the right middle, and that's what he was afraid of.
And it appears at first glance, Ken, it's a shot to nothing, isn't it? I don't think anything else pops.
Yes, I think you can have a go at this. It's very, very close. If you could leave the white somewhere around there, he may be okay, but that red may not be on to the right middle, so just a safety.
Well, I've got to admit, Ken, from here it looks on, doesn't it? I mean, it didn't appear to could have left anything. It's an easy safety shot now for Ding, playing around 4 cushions. Tight behind the green, tight on the cushion is what he's looking for with the cue ball here. You don't necessarily want to snooker a person when the balls are spread like this. You'd rather just get a good white. Now just keep an eye on the white. If he gets it tight on the cushion behind the green, it's perfect. That's good. Such a good safety shot that. Neil can't get back into balk.
Yes, that's a possibility. He's just coming around to have a look, but it's very, very dangerous and has to be so pinpoint with his accuracy.
You can see where you put the lines, Ken, can't you? You can see where you put the lines up, Ken, just missing the black, just missing that red. That's how tough this safety shot is. He's not playing it, though. He's playing an alternative.
It's just a containing safety shot there from Neil, but he may find himself back up there again. Just hands the advantage back to Ding. There's nothing else he could have really done there.
I think safeties, Ken, is something you can't really learn by watching on the television. You've got to be out there playing somebody, haven't you, to see how they put you in trouble and how you can escape out of it. And I think both these players now have played enough match play snooker to realise how important the safety is. Lost the cue ball a little bit there.
Yes, it's an important part of the game. The century breaks are nice to get, but they only win you one frame, and sometimes these type of games are just as important. They can hurt you just as much, so. But they've been very, very good under safety all day today, I think, as well as their break building. Both of them playing to the top of their game. Although it's been a little bit itsy bitsy tonight. That's understandable.
Yes, I don't mind seeing good safety. It's when the balls are missing that you think it's not good snooker, but they've not missed many pots between them. They're still at both 93% pot success rate, which tells you when they're going for pots, they're knocking them in on a high percentage of the time. So I don't mind seeing a bit of safety. If this is hard enough, it'll be behind the brown. Now Ding can get to the potting angle of 2 reds to the right of that cluster of 4, but both of which are fraught with danger. There is a little gap between the black and the bunch of reds to go through, but it's not worth the risk. He'll play the thin safety off the left-hand side. Far too thick. The only good news for Ding in that poor safety shot is not the black out of commission. Just keep an eye on where the black ends up. If it had stayed on its spot, this would have been an excellent opportunity. Now it's okay, because if he gets top side of the blue, he can quickly get on the black. Not happy, is he? Deep thought. Didn't get into that at all. He's played to screw that for the blue in the middle. So bonus is on the corner. Some 8 minutes of safety there before a ball was potted. Now, can he get onto the red on the black spot, which in turn, then he may be able to get onto the black. Too hard. He can get on the red on the black spot, but obviously can't get on the black. The red in the middle's on.
Seven.
Yes, I think if the pink wasn't where it is, he might have gone in and out of balk with this blue. The pink is slightly in the way, so he may have to leave a middle distance red. But he could leave a nice angle on one of these reds, will he? And hopefully get onto the black.
Yeah, the two reds to the right of the 3 that are in a little semicircle there. If he screws back off the blue, 3/4 ball red, then just try and play the cannon into the red next to the black, and that would hold it. But he's in and out of balk, and you mentioned the pink. Keep an eye on the pink. Managed to miss it. Needs that cue ball to pull up quickly. It hasn't. It's still on, but he can't really get on anything nicely. Whenever you're running into balls, you're never quite sure what's happening to the cue ball. And the fact that it's put a red over the middle, the safety is not straightforward.
Neil Robertson, 13.
This red is onto the left middle, but very, very dangerous. Thing just coming down, having a look at the angle. He may be forced into having a go at this. This is a tough pot. How's his look? Not good. Yeah, we'll try and get blue or pink on the spot off this red. If possible. May have to use the brown just to slide off it to get on the blue.
One.
This will, you're gonna have to be pots this blue. He won't really worry about the black being sort of out of commission because he can win this frame by taking blues. It makes the break a little bit harder, but
6.
you could just concentrate on getting on the right side of the blue. Already has a 38-point lead.
Yes, practiced an awful lot with his friend and colleague Joe Perry, who were knocked out in the previous round, and we still have allegiances, Neil and myself. He used to play at the Willie Thorne Snooker Centre, now plays at WT's in Cambridge, so he seems to be following me around, doesn't he? Certainly has great practice facilities there in Cambridge, and Joe Perry is a regular practice partner. You can't beat playing against pros to sharpen your game up, and they play a lot together. This is a tough one, this one. He's 44 points in front, no problem with the red, but if he doesn't get top side
12.
of the blue, the work will start. He's blessed with a lot of power in his cue action, so there shouldn't be any problem.
13.
That's a great shot. Now he's got a choice. He either plays for the loose red or tries to bring a couple of them into play, and he just need another 3 reds at least to be absolutely sure of this frame.
$18.
It was obviously very, very tight.
18.
Why would you risk playing a shot like that to bring reds into play if you weren't sure of potting it? You can see there, look, you can only see the left-hand jaw. 50-point lead is not enough.
Yes, and Dean can't get on this black and this red on the top cushion, so maybe only try and bring another red into play. He has the red to left middle, but again very difficult. Could play a safety off this red and maybe knock the black over the holes. That would probably be the best choice. White somewhere up behind the pink, preferably. That looks pretty good. Good shot. That was very careless from Neil Robertson. He had 2 or 3 loose reds there that he could have played from the blue. I don't know why he tried to get on one of those reds to get the black into play.
I can only presume he played for the higher red of the 2 reds, and because he finished low, was almost forced into playing the pot that any window we could clearly see from our camera angle that it didn't. He could only see the middle of the pocket. He couldn't see the right-hand jaw, and he's in trouble now. The 2 reds that are tight on the cushion are going to, well, not tight on the cushion. One on the right-hand side and one on the back cushion are causing big problems for a clearance. So Neil, I would imagine, even if plays a bad shot here, we'll get one more chance. He might need it. Well, he's been a bit fortunate there. He's pushed another red safe. So it's very tough for Ding to clear from here.
Yes, well, but bringing that black into play on that previous shot has certainly helped his cause. We'll certainly get back into the frame with at least 4 red blacks. Could also try and leave a nice angle after putting this red on the black to take out the red that's nearest the middle pocket and still be on these 2 into the corner. So that's what he'd be thinking of. A few shots ahead.
9.
Now is the perfect angle. Take this red just below the middle pocket, off the cushion, bring it into play, and he'll still be on these 2 reds into this bottom right hand corner pocket.
He can play at pace, he can, can't he? Because even if he happens to get a bad kiss, the 2 reds are still okay. I'd certainly want to be bringing the red at least a foot off the cushion. I'm really surprised he hasn't played the cannon there. He may regret that in 3 shots' time. That was a big chance.
16.
Yes, I'm surprised. He's normally very aggressive.
17.
He's too straight on this red, Willie, because he tried to leave an angle on this red
24.
to take the red out as well, but now he's going to leave it for the last shot, and this could go
25.
wrong. No insurance policy.
Yeah, quite right, Ken. The insurance policy was there before, wasn't it? Because if he gets a bad kiss here, he's on nothing. Whereas previously, if he played a bad kiss, he'd have still had the 2 reds down the cushion that he refused to. So he's back in the frame, though. That's the key thing. If he pots this black, he's only going to be 18 points behind, whatever happens with the cannon.
Well, he's left a double.
32. Tension way, 32.
He may have missed half a chance there, but he's back in the frame. That's the key thing.
You think it's worth having a go at this red, Willie? Particularly with the other red on the side cushion. Maybe a bit of value.
I fancy the up and down, Ken, leaving the white tight on the baulk cushion. Just put the red up near the black, and as long as you snooker him on the red on the right-hand side, you gain the advantage in the safety, don't you?
Yeah, but the only problem with that is if he doesn't snooker him, he could be in a lot of trouble the following shot.
Absolutely.
So maybe a value in taking this red on.
He's just thinking if he doesn't get the white in behind either the brown, pink or green, that easy safety shot will be on for Neil. So whatever happens, regardless of where this red goes, he has to cover that red in baulk. Is he taking your choice, Kennedy? Going for the pot. took a calculated risk, and it was calculated. It's gone astray.
Even though that red is tight to the cushion, being a left-hander, he won't be worried about that. Well, he tried to take it out, but that may have worked out in his favour. The blue has gone over the hole. Gonna have to use an awful lot of right-hand side here, Willie, to try and get behind that red.
I think with the rest, it's too tough, Ken, isn't it? If he could reach it, I'd fancy him getting enough side on. With the rest, it makes the blue missable. He's got to be careful here.
Could just drop it in and play a safety on the red, because he's got a huge target with the green, brown, and that's what he's played. But he's hit it too hard. If he was just below that balk line, he would have had a huge target, white behind the brown and red up towards the black. So may put the red in behind the brown here.
This is a must, though. Has to get the snooker, otherwise he's in trouble.
Robertson, 6.
Now just having an anxious look to see, was there a gap between pink and green? There's not, and the fact that the red is so close to the brown, even if he hits it, it'll be hard to knock that red away and put distance between white and red. So
I think he's dare risk it playing slow. He'd be snookered again, wouldn't he? I think he's going to have to play it pacey. And as our colleague JV always said, it's not all about hitting it, it's where it's going to go when you've hit it. He's going to have to make sure the white doesn't kiss into another ball, and it hasn't done. He couldn't have played that better. What a result. Well played. Has played it half full. Came very close to hitting into the brown, but there you see that just caught the red first.
there is room to hit the cushion first. Won't want. Well, he played it for ball, and that was a really good shot. Has he got the snooker? I think he has. May have to swerve it slightly. The reason he played it like that, he didn't want to bring that yellow into play, because having a 24-point lead, he wants to keep that yellow as safe as possible, and that's a very good reply.
Same scenario, he can get cushion first here, and as long as he doesn't hit it full ball, he could possibly get the white back in towards the black again. But he's got to hit half ball. He could even fluke the red in the middle there if he hits it poorly. Just coming up to 32 minutes of play in this frame, and we're still no nearer knowing who's going to win it. And there's the correct contact. Played it well. A little bit unlucky there, Neil. It's left such an easy safety shot. The red will stay where the yellow is, and cue ball in behind the black. So he's got to be very careful he doesn't cannon the blue if he plays it thick. I think he'll play it thin though. How's the cue ball?
Sorry, Neil.
Every time Neil's come to the table snookered, he's always had a one cushion escape. That's why he's never in real trouble.
Chance for Ding. to dig into this cue ball because the path looks like it's the white maybe going into the black if he just plays this plain ball. So digging down on the cue ball and make it a little bit more difficult. There you see it. Big shot. Has he covered it? I think he has, but Neil can swerve this. Well, he's not going to pot it. It's been a very fortunate thing.
Yeah, this time he's going to have to play the 2-cushion escape. He wants to leave the white at this end, but the jaws of the pocket, he's got to be very careful he doesn't just catch that right-hand jaw and he ends up hitting the red thin. He wants to get right in behind the red if he can. It's all about missing the jaw, so he hits it full ball, and he has done. That's as good as he could have hoped for there.
Well, no ripple of applause, but that was a very, very good shot. Staying in a lot of trouble here. This will be tough to just have a look at the weight of this. Perfect. Knew exactly where the red and the white was going. And that was judged to perfection. This will be hard to get safe. Needs a bit of luck here. Needs a bit of luck, and I don't think he has it. End of frame. 24 points ahead, so red on any colour. Green, brown, blue, pink. Thing will need a snooker.
One.
Obviously would like to get the yellow out of the way as well, having potted the next colour. That's the reason he's not taking the easy green, because he can't get on the yellow. You know that Ding Junhui is going to come back to the table needing just one snooker. Depends what angle he has on the blue. Can he get right back over this side? This is frame ball. Well, it's just flew off the cushion a little bit, which makes this yellow, well, probably won't even take it on.
6.
Well, that's an unlucky kick, because this is a good chance for Ding.
6.
He's 30 behind with 27 on, so needs a snooker. Do you pop the yellow can, or do you play in behind the green and pink straight away?
Well, it may be too narrow to pot it into the middle and maybe screw back. Could possibly knock the yellow down over the right hand corner pocket. Looks like he's going to pot it though. But these are tough into these middles. They're very tight. Oh, good shot. Cued that very well.
2.
There's no prizes for guessing where the cue ball is going to be. It's Neil Robertson's next visit. Now, without the kick he had on the yellow, that shot wouldn't have been on. So it's a little bit unlucky there, Neil, to have had that kick. Just took all the pace out of the cue ball and object ball. Is he going to hit this snooker?
Ding Way.
And he has
2.
to hit it.
Yes, and a good shot from Ding there. Didn't want to knock the green too near this pocket because big target to hit, whereas leaving it somewhat in the middle of the table makes it so much more difficult.
It looks like he's going to have to go at least 2 cushions. Well, he's looking at the 1 cushion escape, but he'll have to play this in such a way that he won't leave a pot on if he misses it. Very well done. That was a really tough snooker to hit. I'm sure he almost lost his breath there when that cue ball was travelling up towards the green, but hit it full ball. Well played.
Three. Ding Way. 3.
If this goes beyond the blue, this is a tough one to hit. That's 3 shots on the trot. He's got the snooker. Now this can slide because the middle pocket is almost just past the middle is the direct line. But with it being a new cloth, you've got to be very careful.
Yes, that's the line, but not quite sure where he has the right angle where the
Would he
white
have to
is.
straighten this up by stunning it, maybe?
I think he might have to dig into the white, will he? Check it. Right. Using a lot of left-hand side. He could swerve it, but because the white's so close to the cushion, it makes it much more difficult.
Swerve it is. We'll get a better view than anybody else in the house with that picture. Well played,
Good
well
shot.
done.
Good shot.
Just have a little look at the cue ball here. It bounces and then just missed the blue by a fraction in the side, dug in and curled round and hit it virtually perfectly. Put it right up the other end of the table. Surely not 5 snookers on the trot. He's a tinker, isn't he? He won't lie down. That's 4 snookers on the trot.
Yes, but well, it's not a full ball snooker, but it is a snooker.
Just see enough of this to take the cue ball in behind the black. Just got to miss the jaws of the middle pocket when playing this shot. That's the line my colleague Ken Doherty's put up for us. He's not a bad judge, is he, Ken, to be honest? You should play this game, Ken. You know you're quite good. What a fabulous effort.
Yes, almost there. Right behind that black. This would have been very difficult to hit, but may elect to swerve it. Could come off the side cushion again. But the swerve looks a little bit more difficult this time. that's a possibility. Just got to be very careful with the first cushion, because, as Willie said, these can slide quite a bit and throw the angle of the white. But he's got a big target there, Willie. He can hit the bottom cushion as well.
Cushions, wouldn't he?
Oh, he's missed it.
Oh, the frame's live again. Don't go in off.
If it goes in off, he could be in trouble again.
Ding Junhui,
Wow.
4.
That's unlucky.
What a turnaround this has been. The next snooker's a certainty. Then Robertson's got to hit it and get it safe. This could be a big turning point in this match. What a lovely bump on the jaws that was to put the brown near the black. That brown wouldn't have gone there by catching the jaws of the middle pocket. The brown would have been 2 feet to the right of the black. And now the free ball's a possibility, so he's going to be very careful here. 2 cushions will play again, try and hit it from behind.
Foul. And a miss.
He's got the set there, foul on this free ball. The pink's on, so he may not have this replaced. It depends what angle he's got on the pink,
Free ball.
whether he can screw back and get on the brown. Now let's have a little look at the angle on the pink if we can. He's obviously got an angle, just has to miss the jaws of the middle pocket. This is the big shot now. He's played that as well as he could. He's got the perfect angle on the brown to go up for the blue. This is a massive shot. This could hurt a player so much if you can pinch a frame when needing snookers. For me, he has to take it on. It's a very, very easy snooker. You can leave the white where the brown is and send the brown up towards its own spot. You'd take this on, Ken, wouldn't you?
I think he's got to take it on, Willie.
He's not looking at it, Ken.
No. Well, he has a chance to win the frame. He's got to really take it on.
And also he can play the cover, can't he? He can leave the white near the jaws of the right-hand middle and probably cover the brown if he misses it.
It is a difficult pot, but it's certainly worth the risk. Well, that surprised me.
You get surprised in the commentary box, Ken, I can tell you. It's amazing what you can... Players play different ways to other players, and Ding being one of the most attacking players in the world, he may not get a better chance than that to pot the brown.
Excellent safety. He may live to regret that. Refusing to take that brown. Maybe the only chance he's going to get in this frame if he doesn't hit this perfectly. That's a good reply. Would you take this on, Willie?
It's one of those, if you can't see another shot,
He's got to be careful of it. If he plays the brown up and down, he could get the double kiss on the white.
The only good thing, he's not taking it on, but the only good thing if he did take it on, he could cover the pocket with both the pink and black. Well, that's just a nothing shot. All you've done there is you're going to be snookered at your next visit. Brown near the blue, white on the top cushion beyond the black spot. He's put himself bang in trouble here. Played it the other way around, and there may be an edge sticking out. We'll show you very shortly. Oh, can you see that? Just I don't think you can see that, Ken.
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to come down between blue and pink. One cushion. Try and leave the white where the brown is, and the brown somewhere up in the bulk area, away from that pocket.
We're coming up to 50 minutes of play in this frame.
He hasn't covered it. Or has he? It's very tight.
No attempt at a pot there, just playing what he's got, the snooker. 50 minutes playing time. And I still don't think we've seen a pot missed in this frame that they've gone for. So this has all been about safety. Well, is this going to be a tempter? Let's have a look at the angle he's got. It's not a bad angle to run through for the blue. You fancy this one, Ken?
Well, the funny thing is, Willie, he may elect to take this on, and this is a much more difficult shot, and the brown he refused.
Because there was an element of shot to nothing in the other one, wasn't there?
Yes.
There's not shot to nothing in this one. Well, that was one of mine. That hit the wrong side of the ball. Just shows you bouts of safety play, Ken, how it could affect your cueing. And that's why some players carry on when they need 3 and 4 snookers, just to knock the other man out the stride a little bit. I don't think I've ever seen so many gaps through balls to play off one cushion as I've seen in this frame. It's incredible. About 8 or 9 times we've seen a gap for a one cushion escape.
Yes, gap between the pink and black off the top cushion. He's just got to be careful. He's going to hit the brown almost half ball on the way back up, so he can direct it off the right hand side cushion and somewhere into the middle of the ball cushion. Must hit a half ball, and if he hits it 3/4 ball, that's what can happen. It's a chance for Neil.
This is the first real chance that Neil Robertson's had in this safety exchange. Remember, he's 10 points in front, so brown and blue needed. Well, this has been a little comedy of errors the last few shots, hasn't it? Ding will probably take this on because he's close to the white. This kind of shot, clearly, if you play it hard, the pockets are not going to take it this week, but he's so close to the white, he can just screw back somewhere near where the white is now and be perfect on the blue, and have every chance of the pocket taking the brown at that pace. Just having to use his extension. This in practice would be kind of probably 8 or 9 out of 10, but there's a little bit of tension in this shot. Neither player have potted a ball for some 5 or 6 minutes. Well, that just shows you how tight these pockets are. That would have gone in on any other table they've played on this year. I'm pleased to see it though, because the pockets were getting too big, to be fair. So that's means now they're going to have to be very, very careful.
Just got to be careful here, missing the black. If he decides to knock the brown up the table, leave the white there. And also missing the middle pocket, will he? Because that's a possibility as well.
We're coming up to 9.5 minutes of play on the brown alone, and they both had two, well, half chances rather than good chances.
Well, that's amazing. Completely mishit that. He's been a little bit lucky that that blue has gone to the middle of the ball cushion. Try to chip it onto the top cushion, side cushion and back towards the black spot. Mishit it all wrong. This is a difficult shot to try and even get close to this blue. That's amazing. I think you could have counted on one hand the number of missed pots by either player in the first 7 frames today's session. I think they've missed more pots in this frame alone.
You can have a go at this brown because it's a natural angle, it'll be nicely on the blue. So play virtually plain ball, play the pot. Don't have to do anything with the cue ball, naturally it'll be going down for the blue. Well, perhaps he did need a little bit of side because he's not on the blue. Oh, that little kiss tells us he is on the blue. 14 points in front, blue's game ball. And you've got no option but just to roll it in dead weight, and you better hope it doesn't leave the cushion. Having played on this table, Ken, do they cling to this top cushion?
Oh, this is very missable. He's just got to play it dead weight, as you say. Oh, good shot. Very good shot. Mighty relieved as well.
Well, this is amazing. Probably the longest frame of the tournament also, almost, just coming up to an hour's play. But it's been tense. Apart from the misses on the brown, there wasn't too many balls missed. But in goes the pink, and you can see what that means to Neil Robertson. He looked like going 5-4 behind on a number of occasions. He hasn't. He's gone 5-4 in front.
Oh, goodness, an hour-long frame. I'm sure there's plenty of other things you might have been doing with that hour in your life, but there we go. I think Scrappy would be lavishing praise on that one, John.
It was turgid. You have to say it, don't you? It was a very poor frame to watch. Neil Robertson won't be bothered by the fact, you know, he's gone and won it. The one thing about playing a frame like that is if you play for 57 minutes like Ding has and you've got nothing else to show for it, then it really becomes a shocker.
Yeah, the irony is, of course, the quality that we saw and the speed at which they played this afternoon in complete contrast, wasn't it? 3 centuries and a real makings of an excellent match then.
Yes, and you see this level of brilliance more often these days, and you get spoiled by it in a way. But that is sort of sometimes how snooker goes and how the balls go. They sometimes have their own say in the matter. But as John said, it does test the resolve, not just here in the studio, but it does test the resolve of the players. And of course, the winner can completely wipe the slate and forget about it. The loser's got the problem of thinking, I've just done an hour in for nothing, and worse than nothing, another extra frame gone. So we'll see what Ding's made of. He does seem to have been showing some signs of having more of a stick-at-it approach this year, and we'll see what happens with it.
Just in general terms, you guys have played in something like over 130 finals between you. How can the evening session change? What can change between the two sessions, the afternoon and the evening? Is there a level of nerves that starts to come into play when perhaps it wouldn't have done earlier in the match?
Well, you're naturally getting closer to the winning post. That's the big thing. And it's been a while since both of them have won a tournament, so that could be the biggest factor about it as you get closer to it. I don't think we're there yet. I think at 5-4 or whatever it is at the minute, we're not near the twitching hour yet. But we will be when we get to 7s and 8s.
And the twitching hour is going to affect one of them, because both of them have been in 3 world ranking finals and both of them have won all 3. Something's got to give, obviously.
Yes, and we saw that ball that Dingjet played down the rail, the Brown. It was a decent shot. And it wobbled in the jaws. If, for any reason, the table starts to play more difficult because of, from a point of view of perhaps the atmospherics in the room, and you think back to the Mark Williams-Stephen Hendry match, where all of a sudden the players lost confidence in the table. Not that it's playing badly, just in the fact of if the balls are, the pockets are accepting the balls, then you get a sort of a dropping of confidence, and the standard can go ropey. I think that's just an individual frame, because other than that, the snooker's been excellent, really.
Yeah, it has, yeah. But in general terms, how can a frame like that affect you? As you said earlier, Steve, they have just spent an hour in hard graft at the table there. How does it affect your confidence? How does it affect your form?
No, well, you just wipe it clean. I mean, basically wipe it clean. It's difficult for Ding to do because, as we said, he spent nearly an hour there, got nothing to show for it. For Neil Robertson, he doesn't care. It's a number on the board, 1 closer to 9.
OK. And in terms of Ding's application, you mentioned this a little bit earlier on. For a couple of years, John, he was winning tournaments. He won 3 before his 20th birthday. Then it all went quiet for him. Do you sense that now there's a change in his attitude, change in his level of application?
I think there's a massive change in it. I think he's maturing. Steve said today, made a good point today, he thinks he's going to be at his best in the next couple of years because he's got that experience, and it was a knock to him when he lost to O'Sullivan, no doubt about it. But this week he's applied himself very well indeed. OK, well, let's get back to the commentary box. Ken Doherty, I hope you've managed to get some sustenance after your efforts in commentating for the last hour.
Yes, it's quite surprising. See, almost 60-minute frame after the standard that we witnessed this afternoon. Such an amazing game, snooker. However, as the boys said, he's got that 5 on the board, and that's all Neil Robertson will be concerned with. There you see it, first to 9 frames, becomes the Grand Prix champion. Hasn't taken off yet, Willie, has it?
No, the opening frame of the evening, Neil Robertson didn't have a lot of chance, breaks a 48-47 from Ding, but that last frame, OK, there were only half chances apart from until they got to the brown. When they got to the brown, they both had really good chances. And it'll be a frame that Ding will remember for some time because he went favourite on 2 or 3 occasions.
I'd like to get that red just right of the black, out of the way. Not from this shot, obviously, but as soon as possible, so the black will go on both pockets.
Nine.
It's a good shot. We judge that to perfection.
Just can't quite tell as we watch this screw back on the blue, a little bit aside just to widen the angle. there's a gap between the pack of reds and the red and black. And now, if you could get in that gap, that red's on, but it's too risky, I think, to play that. He'll be looking for an alternative, so he still can't get rid of that red just yet.
$14. $15.
Could try and get on the red here, but may elect to go into them and try and disturb a few more. It's not too bad. This red goes
20.
Just below the black spot. And he's got a nice angle just to go back up for the blue.
I'd much rather see a player do that, Ken, as you rightly said, he would like to win on the blue, but it's slightly awkward. Play the option for baulk colours, because you've always got 2 or 3 chances. The number of times we see players break down, I mean, for the extra 2 points, it doesn't make any difference. They're very short so many times when they just play for the blue.
Yes, and the fact that he knocked the black off a spot there, Willie, it makes this job a little bit easier to get on that red. Just right of the black spot. Won't be trying for it here. Maybe thinking of it just down the road.
$23.
It's not the best positional shot he's ever played. Should have been a lot closer to this red.
He's got a choice of 2 reds. He can get top side of the blue, and as Ken mentioned earlier, the key red is the one to the right of the black spot. He needs to get top side of the blue and get rid of that red. Just can't get there, can he?
24.
He's trying so hard to leave an angle. The blue's available into the corner. I mentioned earlier in commentary that now and again
29.
Neil just tends to lose the white a little bit. That was a massive target off one cushion to get on those 2 reds. He's overhit it by 2 feet.
Robertson, 29.
And 29 points. He certainly won't be happy, and won't be happy with that safety shot. He's left this red as a possible pot. This left corner pocket. Good shot. 1. That was careless from Neil. Half a chance.
That's what they're playing for, the magnificent Grand Prix trophy. Neither of his players have yet to get their hands on that. One of them will this evening. Neil, of course, that was one of the trophies, one of the 3 he won a couple of seasons ago, so it would be the second time for him, first for Ding. Needs that cue ball to travel by the red, and it hasn't.
Five. Thank you. Ding Junhui, 5.
Big target behind the yellow and brown here. 2, possibly 3 cushions here. Good shot.
May just play the one cushion, try and rest in the red that's just virtually touching the black. But it can go wrong, this one. Thing is, if he just glances the red, he doesn't want to glance off it and free the black, because Neil can play the red along the back cushion. And if the black's free, he can get on it, so he doesn't really need to move the red and black too far. Just wants to rest on it. And he hasn't done. He's left the red along the top cushion. Now does the black pot? Because if the black pots, he can play this.
Neil Robertson, 4.
I don't think the black pots, otherwise Neil might take this on. He can just play a little cannon into the one on the black spot. That's why he's refusing that shot. Yeah, you can see there the black's not available. That's the reason the ball's being replaced.
Okay, Neil.
This is short, isn't it? Goodness me, that was a little bit of a twitchy one.
Yes, and this red may be on, Willie. I'm not quite sure from this angle. I think it is.
Well, we know the black doesn't pot, so why not play the shot he's just played previously, knowing that even if he leaves the red on, he can't get on the colour. What you can't do is leave him like this.
So short by quite a distance. That was very careless. Now, when he puts this, he'll run through, try and bring another red into play.
1.
Just having a look at a possible plant there. Has an angle on the pink to try and disturb these reds if this plant isn't on, but nice angle to try and hit that red just below the pink spot. Almost half ball. Push those reds out of the way and be left with one of these reds into the bottom left hand corner pocket. Very good shot. Played it the other way. Yep. See the same result.
Seven.
Pink goes into the right middle again, so. But he could play this any way he likes. He could deep screw or play it back for the same shot again. Prefer to play the deep screw. He's played it well. Blessed with a lot of cue power.
Loads and loads. The only thing that worries me here, playing the blue into the middle, can he miss the kiss on the 3 reds going down? Because he'd like to get on the one that's just below the pink, but he'd have to play that off either one cushion with check side or 2 cushions with a little bit of running side. But he has to miss the kiss on the 3 reds. And if he can't miss the kiss, you might as well play the cannon on the pink. Just see where the cue ball goes. Yeah, he couldn't miss the kiss. He needs a good kiss, and he's got it nicely. Well played. 45 points in front. 3 reds, 3 colours. He goes 2 clear at 6-4.
He's trying to put this red off 2 cushions. Just got to avoid the kiss on the red, the right cushion. If he avoids that, he should be okay. Good shot. Would have liked to play it a little bit harder, but it's the blue into the green pocket.
Clever little shot that he purposely held the spot. Now I like that shot because the black looks like it's going to go on it. Sorry, the blue's going to go on the black spot, which makes the next positional shot easy. Well, he tried to hold the spot and it didn't quite work.
90.
That would have been a clever shot, wouldn't it, if he'd have held that? Because the blue would pass the other reds into the corner. That's an excellent shot. That is first class. 52 points in front, blue 57. One more red in colour for 6-4.
Just a little bit short. Is this a little bit more difficult? Should be okay. One red in colour should secure the frame.
26.
Put this blue into the corner and just stun the white down towards the 2 reds just to the right of the black spot. I think the top one goes into this bottom right hand corner pocket, so good shot.
$31.
That will possibly keep Ding Junhui in his chair, regardless of whether Neil decides to play the pot on the brown or green or play the snooker. Ding Junhui may have missed a big chance in the previous frame. It's a frame he definitely should have won.
$36. $36 in the frame.
Well, frame ball there for Robertson was a good long blue played earlier on. Ding Junhui had precious little chance in that frame. Neil Robertson goes 2 clear. That's 6-4. It's funny times now, of course, for people like Ding Junhui. They've played very well in this match, but all of a sudden missed a couple of half chances there in the previous frame. He had every chance on the brown, missed 2 or 3 browns he perhaps should have potted, and that's just that little bit of table time. They played 10 minutes safety on the brown, and when they had the first chance, neither of them could pot it. Neil did pinch the frame on that brown, and of course then that frame there, Ding Junhui hardly had a chance to pot a ball. As usual, packed audience, as they would expect to be. I'm going to hand over to JP and Steve in the studio. I think Ding has got it to do now, boys.
Yeah, well, it's not for the first time this week. He's been asked a big question. He certainly was against Peter Ebdon, but of course, more severe test for him in the final. Big frame coming up from Steve.
Yes, and he looked a bit disappointed, a bit demoralised at the end of that the frame before, didn't he, Willie?
Yeah, that's the only thing that worries me about Ding. Facially, you can tell, can't you, when he's not feeling at his best. When he's in the balls and playing nicely, his facial expression hardly, changes. But when things are not going right, you can look at him and tell he's getting a little frustrated. Last frame before the mid-session interval, and this is a big one for Ding Junhui. Wow, is this the chance he's been waiting for? I think not, because he can't get onto the black. It appears to be virtually straight. Now, if he can screw back off 2 cushions to get on the black in the same pocket, but that makes the red missable. Can't afford to hit the near jaw. He's played that shot nicely. He needs a good kiss on this red. That's an excellent shot. Whatever he scores from here, he deserves. That was an excellent shot under pressure.
Eight.
He's very out of sorts. Hasn't settled at all tonight. He's been a bit fortunate that red is covered, because this would have been an easy opener for Neil Robertson. It's amazing, Willie. A few errors make such a difference to a player.
Yes, both players seem to be queuing very nicely this afternoon. I thought the way the opening frame went, Ding Junhui was actually queuing well this evening, but since that opening frame, he's had precious little table time, and he's just lost his way a little bit. I think the interval is going to come at the right time for Ding, especially if he could pinch this frame. He'd be delighted to have got out of this session 2-2 the way he's played. He did that this morning when in the afternoon session, I should say, he went 2-0 behind and somehow managed to level at 2-2. Same scenario here, hasn't played well. Going to get out of this session 2-2.
Just where the white landed just makes this a little bit more awkward. Just bridging over this green and brown. Just gotta be careful. Well played. Very good shot. Second bite at the cherry.
This is perfect to play the arc into the pack there, the one at the back of the pack. If you can hit that one and the pack at the same time, just by arcing it into that bunch, they will split perfectly. Now these cloths seem to be skidding a little bit more. It'd be a natural shot normally. That's the line if it's straight. He'd like to arc it round that red if he can, but he's just played the cannon. He's playing extremely negative this evening for me. I've never seen Ding play this negative.
8.
Yes, he's normally aggressive. He's obviously not very confident tonight for some reason. Needs to
9.
String a nice break together to get that confidence back, because he's refused a few shots already tonight, particularly that brown a couple of frames ago. Trying to get on that red, Willie, you mentioned earlier. Just at the bottom
14.
of the pack here.
The only problem with now is the black's only available in one pocket, so he needs to get rid of that red as quick as possible. Can play the cannon this time. It's one of those this time where you don't go in at pace. You just bring a couple of reds into play, and as long as you don't stick on them, you'll be on the one in the opposite corner. See, that's all he did there. You see, just bring a couple of reds out. No, he's bound to be on the other red. Good chance this now.
22. It's touching. Ding Junhui, 22.
I don't know what happened there, Willie.
There's one thing for sure. He's annoyed now. He can't believe he's missed that.
He's doing a runny.
Yeah, I wonder if that helps. Can you imagine all the kids in the snooker clubs now when they miss a shot? They'll have the towel over the head. Just came across it slightly. Just flicked a little bit of right-hand side on queuing over the ball. It just turned the red over to the left-hand side. Not a thinking time needed. That 30-point lead could evaporate very quickly.
Thanks. 1. Eight. 9.
Covered, so
15.
the red that's on the pink spot goes into this right hand corner pocket and may use that. Bring some more reds into play after the red and the black.
16.
Would ideally love to get on that red that's covering the pink spot. Won't be able to do it from this shot.
23.
These are worrying times for Ding Junhui.
$24.
Oh, has he got an angle? Just coming around to have a look at that red again. He's dead straight, so he's okay. He can just screw off one cushion. Back across for that red.
Could definitely do with finish on it not straight, just so I can bring a couple of reds into play. Let's have a look at the cue ball here. I think he's just about played it okay. Now he can either screw off the pack to go up for the blue, or he can force it through
31
to go through for the black. With the screw off the pack, he'd be on pink or blue, and a couple of more reds could come out at least here. That's all that came out, 2.
32.
But they've gone into perfect positions.
Sure.
Got one more kiss needed. Oh, excuse me, got one more kiss needed to make this a frame-winning break. The 2 loose reds are not a problem. I'm just wondering whether there's any plants available on the 4 reds. It doesn't appear so. So it's an angle on one of the colours in the next 2 shots to get into those 4 reds, ideally off this next black.
37.
Yes, because if he gets a nice angle on this black, Willie, he can go into the 4 reds and still have the insurance of that red close to the pocket.
38.
I may have just come a little bit straight this time. So I won't be able to do it off this shot. I'll just have to play for the loose red. Well, if he leaves the white just somewhere where that red is, just maybe half an inch or an inch above that red.
45.
Nice half ball angle on the black. Should be perfect. Just screw it back about an inch. Oh, he's overscrewed it.
46.
And that's tension. A little bit of adrenaline and tension in the arm. He just wanted it only 1 inch. He was perfect, and that could be end the break.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Well, I'm surprised here. That 7 points could be useful. I mean, you can just play safe off the pack and get in behind the green and brown. I just don't see the value at all in knocking the yellow safe. Not at all.
Well, he didn't even knock the yellow safe, and that's a poor shot. Again, thing looks to be very short here.
Foul and a miss. Neil Robertson.
Why would he not pop black though, Ken Neil, and just flick off them and still going behind the green? At least just make those reds open, because if Ding gets this shot right, he's not gained any advantage at all.
Yes, but I think Neil's idea was to put the yellow safe, because he knows should he get a couple of reds and colours, he won't need that yellow. So probably wants a little bit of an insurance policy again. And he's missed it again.
Foul and a miss. Neil Robertson full. Yeah.
Ding won't really mind giving these points away at the moment, because the last thing he wants to do is hit the reds and leave one on, because that would be end of frame. So he still has a few more tries. Just getting his bearings these first couple of shots. Really wants to be just dead weight on these reds, and that's okay. Good shot. Doesn't want to be touching ball. Amber Haas hasn't called touching ball, but I think he may find himself back up behind that green and brown again. It's a big target. Oh.
Foul. Ding Junhui full.
Good safety shot from Ding. He'll be disappointed he's pushed the red towards the right-hand side cushion, because he'll need that. Tap of the cue from Neil Robertson to say good shot. Referee Jan Verhaas just making exactly sure where all the balls are, just in case anything goes wrong, and he has to replace them. There's a gap through green and brown, but I'm not sure you can see the edge of the red. I think you can see the red full ball, but can you see the edge to get back in the ball? No, full ball it was. Full ball is hit, and very, very fortunate. Oh, yes, you're entitled to hold your hand up there, young man. Wow, how's he got away with that? One of yours, Ken.
Never happened to you, Willie, I'm sure. He was very fortunate there. Then going to try and find the gap between green and pink here. Hasn't judged it properly.
Be playing this as a shot to nothing, swinging it around 2 cushions. At least if it goes in, he has the easy snooker in behind green and pink. He's missed it. Got a good cue ball though. See if it goes in, he just rolls up to the green or rolls up to the pink, and that would have been tough for Ding. Strong favourite now where the balls are, Neil. Strong favourite in this frame.
Shot from Ding. More importantly, brought the black into play. That will certainly help his cause. He doesn't want to take this red off the right hand side cushion, so he's got to be careful here. One of these reds will be going towards this corner pocket. Oh, well, he spotted a plant.
One.
Yes, he came round purposely to have a look at that, knowing that he could play safe off that, whatever happened. Unfortunately for him, he's kissed the blue once again into a position where it's not easy. The black's on. Where the red is on the right-hand side cushion, there's not too bad a thought taking the black on. If he can reach it, that is. I wouldn't want him to take it on with the rest. It's missable. I don't think he'll miss it if he can reach it. He wouldn't take it. If this right-hand red was in open play, he wouldn't play this. Well, Ding a couple of times has missed a red on that near jaw and it stayed out. That black went right in off the near jaw, but it went in. I'm surprised that went in, how tight the pockets are this week.
Yes, and I think that's been the difference. Neil has certainly gone for his shots, Willie. Ding hasn't. He's been very reluctant tonight for some reason.
Yes, on 3 or 4 occasions we called the attacking shot on commentary and he refused them. Never seen him do that before. 16. If he has any aspirations now of getting back onto this match, he won't do it playing like he is at the moment. He's going to have to play attacking. So I expect after the interval for him to start playing a little looser. As this crowd once again acknowledge the fact that Neil's gone over the line in this frame.
$24. $25.
Well, it wasn't the best 4 frames of snooker we've ever seen from these 2 great players, but that won't worry Neil Robertson. He's won 3 of the first 4 this evening's session and leads by 7 frames to 4 at the mid-session interval.
Not quite sure what happened there, but the crowd had a great laugh with Jan Verhaas, a referee. Now, what were they all laughing at? Oh, look at Jan had got the green on the brown spot.
Thank you. Frame 12. Neil Robertson to bed.
Off we go then for the final session in this year's Grand Prix. And will that interval change things around from Ding Junhui's perspective? Because he's gone off the boil somewhat. He's lost 3 of those 4 frames. Long way to go, John.
Not the best safety. I think there's a red on to the right middle. Yes, this is a test of character now for Ding Junhui. What has he got left in the locker? We've been saying over the last couple of seasons he struggled. This is a big test for him now. And he's left the red to the right corner as well as the right middle. Just run it a little bit too far, but this brown may still be on.
Yeah, he just nudged the brown, didn't he? Otherwise, he would have had to have played the snooker. No problem getting on a red. There's 5 or 6 loose reds. But it is a thin one. In fact, he doesn't like it. He's going to play the snooker.
Neil Robertson won.
And that's a clever snooker because he's blocked the path going into the reds from the right side of the table. Much more dangerous going into them from the left side. That's a very good shot there, well judged.
As you said, Dennis, this was a good shot. Had to catch it half ball on the right-hand side and judged it well, but he left himself in a position where it was an easy snooker. And he's got to be careful here because this black now is in the open. He's got to get this safe. It's not bad. He's not left anything easy.
I think that second frame took a bit of the steam out of both players because the breaks have dried up. We did have 3 centuries in the opening session. 2 from Neil Robertson, 1 from Ding. We haven't had a 50 from either player in the last 5 frames, but that could change. But I think both these players are showing how good they are tactically as well. Both great break builders.
Yes, I think the difference has been, Dennis, in the last few frames that Ding Junhui has had his chances but missed when he was in, and we all know that you can't afford to do that. And his pot success is now down to 88%. Unusual for him.
And funny enough, in the safety success rate, Neil Robertson is ahead on that. He's 86% and Ding 82%. I would have thought Ding was slightly the better safety player, but there you go.
Yes, another error from Ding, leaving this red on.
1.
It's an easy game, isn't it? Every time you come at the table, there's a pot on. So he's just got to tighten up as Ding Junhui every aspect of his game if he's going to get back in this match. First to 9, remember.
Yeah, and if the Australian opens up a 4-frame advantage, he certainly would take some beating. So it's a very important frame. They all are, but this one more so.
Three.
Well, we're just looking there, and the black is just about available, but I don't think he's on a red where he can play for the black at the moment. So this is a cut to the middle, and cue ball travelling around the back of the reds.
4.
A little bit shorter pace, but he's on the blue, having to send the cue ball now in and out of balk.
Well, at first glance, he hasn't dropped on anything easy. The one into the middle pocket would leave him on the black, but that's quite an acute angle. Can't get through to the potting angle of the right of those two reds, I don't think. That's the one that would leave him on the black, but it looks easy from that picture, but it's far from easy. But if he could pot this, it'd be a terrific chance. It really would. Now that he's wandered up the other end of the table, that's sort of indicating that he doesn't fancy this pot to the middle. He's going to just play up between green and brown. So I think he's made his mind up. He's not going to risk anything. He's going to protect this 3-frame advantage and keep it tight and make Ding Junhui work for his chance. He has won 3 ranking titles: the Grand Prix in 2006, the Welsh Open in 2007, the Bahrain Championship in 2008. So he's won one world ranking event each year for the last 3. ...2006, since Ding won his last world ranking event, the Northern Ireland Trophy, beating Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final of that. And the big year for Ding was 2005 when he won the China Open and the UK Championship. But he looked this week to be back to near his best form. It's just deserted him this evening.
Was it quickly there after he played that? He knew he'd caught the red a little bit too thick. Now has the brown come to his rescue? Well, he can get through to this straight red, but I don't think he can get on the black from the left-hand side of the table, so it's going to be a good shot to get back up for the blue, but there is an alternative to the right corner. I think he'll be playing a pot because I don't see a good safety.
Yeah, if he left the white up in the jaws of this corner pocket, he had to be reasonably safe, but we know what a good potter he is, but he may refuse the pot here. Let's see. Now, there might be one available to the middle, and we know Ding Junhui is terrific at potting balls in the middle pockets. There is one that will go. That's the one. But not risking it, can't blame him.
Yes, and that signals what you were saying a few moments ago, Dennis. This is a very important frame. If Neil Robertson was to win this, you'd have to think it would take an unbelievable performance for Ding to win the match, when Neil Robertson would only need one more frame. So he got a little bit tactical. I think Ding Junhui in a position where he can't afford another mistake. He can't get too tentative.
These young players just showing us, John, that they're capable of doing a little bit of grinding. Not quite as good as the great Cliff Thorburn. He was the king of all grinders. And people used to say to Cliff about being a slow player, oh, he said I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of them. He said I was the fastest of the slowest players.
Couldn't afford to send that cue ball too close to the baulk cushion. That would then have left a simple safety for Ding. And it looks as though he's covered that red in the baulk end. So it puts a little bit of pressure on this next shot.
And I think what he's done there, Neil, he knew he was going to be leaving a tempter. And is he trying to tempt Ding into taking on a difficult pot? Those are all difficult, but the one to the left corner is probably slightly easier than that, but that is very risky. He's just debating whether to take this one on. He could play safe and just double this red back down the table, leave the white tight on this back cushion. But it's as if he wants to have a go at something. Coming up to 11:15 and the Kelvin Hall is still packed. Lovely watching those pictures and listening to Jim Watt. Lovely man, Jim Watt. Now that's cleared the black. He's handed the advantage to Neil Robertson. Neil can play the red in the baulk area and keep things tight. He's got him trapped again. That's why Ding's having to think long and hard about this. There's no easy way back up the table for safe. He's having to screw the white back up the table and send the red into the pink and reds to keep them up this end. You just never know where they're going to go when you play that type of shot. Is the red going to bounce far enough? think it has. It's a bit like watching Steve Davis this. Every time you come to the table, you're on the baulk cushion with a white tight on it. He used to do that to you all the time, John. Wasn't very friendly, was he, Steve, on the table?
No, he was a master tactician. I don't think either of these players would come in that category of the tactical side of the game, and I'm just getting a little bit concerned here about Ding Junhui. OK, last couple of shots he had nothing to go at, but he refused the red in the middle about 3 visits ago, and I don't know whether he could win a tactical battle in this match. That's what he's better at, potting. Good pots. Don't think he'd play the black, it's too risky. But he could gain the initiative by getting that cue ball tight against the baulk cushion.
Yellow. Ding Junhui, 1.
As you said, John, Ding has gained the initiative with that good long pot. The 2 reds are awkward to come back down the table that side. The natural angle, he would play safe off that red, but he can't because he cannon straight into the red on the left side. Now he's going to have to be very precise. This red might pot between the 2 reds, and he just missed the cannon on that red, and the reason he missed it was the pace he played it at.
Yes, and that was a terrific shot. That was not straightforward, as you say. That extra bit of pace just threw the cue ball a little bit wider. It didn't look on from where we're sitting, but he could not have played it better.
Just watch how much he missed that. You see the side he had on that just to miss that red. Very good. That's got the pink in the open now. There's a red on top of the pink, as indeed there is one on the blue. That's a Neil Robertson special there. Can he get in behind the yellow? Must be able to.
Neil Robertson, 1.
Well, I think he can just get to this red that's closest to the left-hand cushion, but there's not much he can do here. He's going to do very well to leave this safe. And the way the reds are spread and the pink and black in the open, this could be very costly if he leaves a chance of a pot for Neil Robertson here. He can clearly hit the red, but no path back to baulk. And if he leaves the cue ball at this end of the table, how can he get it safe?
It's amazing. He's right in trouble again. There's no shot available to him. There's no other red he can come off a cushion and land on because they're open. There's only those two that are near a cushion. And if he rolls to that one, as you say, John, there's a couple of pots available. I can't see how he can get out of this. I really can't. Surprised he's scratching his head because there's absolutely no shot available to him to get this safe. Not often you see the balls in this sort of situation.
Yes, for all the skill that there is in snooker, and we witness it time and time again. Is this a case for the old it and hope?
Very unfair, Willie Thorne, christening you John Hit and Hope Virgo when your nickname's John Mr. Perfection Virgo. It might be, though. Let's see. Well, he just doesn't know what to do here. Yeah, he was in a terrible position there. He really was. He's left a red for the corner. He just didn't know what to do. Well, I don't think anybody could get out of that.
Well, he made a good effort. If he could have just hit that red that he made contact with a little bit fuller, he may have just got it safe, but there are reds available to this right corner. So Ding Junhui can't do anything now, back in his seat, hoping that Neil Robertson won't make the most of this opportunity.
1.
There's one thing, the way Neil's playing, he's not doing anything careless, John. He's giving himself that little bit of extra time. He's weighing everything up.
Well, he knew he was running into that red.
8.
He knew he'd have this red in the middle of the table. The blue's tied up, so he'd be hoping he's on this red so he can play for the... He purposely played that cannon. Looks as though if he just drops this red in, he'll be on the pink. Doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball.
I think he might just be running away from it, John. He doesn't want to snooker himself on the pink with that red. If it was slightly straighter, you just roll it in, don't you? But maybe the angle's not quite as good as it looks from here. That's why he's taking the one to the middle pocket.
Nine.
Still not in ideal position. This pink, as you can see, is on for the middle. The white will be coming around towards the reds near the black. And it may have gone wrong.
15.
Got the main part of the shot, that was the pot, but he probably needed a little bit more pace on that end of break.
Neil Robertson, 15.
Usually very fast and quick players, but look at the average shot time, 26-27.
Well, that was a nice flick off the green. It's left a good cue ball now. So this isn't straightforward. He plays safe, you would think, off the red next to the blue, but you've got to catch it just right because that red will stay in the middle of the table. And he's hit it a little bit too thick. Just found the baulk line rather than the baulk cushion, so there's a chance of a pot here. You just feel with Ding Junhui at the moment, he needs to make something happen. It's all drifting away at the moment.
Possibility of knocking one red onto the other, but it's the safety shot he'll be concerned with. If he made the plant, well, that would be more than a bonus. He hit it too thick. He's brought the red up. Is he going to get away with it? Is the brown going to come to his rescue? He'd be very lucky if it has. Well, I think he can get past the brown, and if the pink's available into the corner, there you clearly see you can get to the potting angle. This is the first chance that Ding's had for quite some time. Can he make the most of it?
I think it's a must, Dennis, that he makes the most of it. Just for his own self-confidence.
One.
Choice of reds to play on. The one passes the blue. There's one in the left corner also. Didn't quite get into that as he intended, but he should be okay.
5.
Yes, I'm certain he played for the red into the left corner. He's not stunned down far enough. He's on this red to the left middle, but straighter it'd have been okay, but he's got a little bit of work to do now with the cue ball.
Six.
Well, that's the problem. If you keep running out of position, it's going to catch up with you in the end. Surely you won't take this black to the right middle. Or will he?
He's one of the best middle ball potters in the game, and you just feel he wants to have a go at this. Big shot.
Well, he's asking Jan Verhaas to clean the cue ball. That tells me he's taking it on. Big shot. Big shot.
Looks good to me. Every chance he could have lost the frame had he not have potted that, so just showing a lot of character there. Played for the pink, but he was always going to have the blue if he didn't screw back far enough. You're always leaving yourself options in this sort of situation. it's turned out okay, but
19.
almost went wrong when he cannoned the other red.
$20.
Well, and he's done it again.
Ding Junhui.
Just when you
20.
thought he'd done all the hard work. And he's missed a sitter.
In a middle pocket. A pocket he's so good at.
1.
Wow, what a turning point this could be in this final. He just shakes his head. You don't often see him do that. And with Neil being a left-hander, the reds
8.
near the left side cushion are not all that bad.
$9.
He hasn't got a good angle here to get to the reds. Don't know if he can swing it all the way around the table.
Well, normally the two cushion in and out of baulk. The pink looks to be in the way. And it doesn't look as though he can screw direct, so he may just content himself with the 7 points here. Possibility of the double, I suppose.
Yeah, with the other red
16.
safe. Not a bad call that, John. Worth risking the double. He would finish nicely on the black. Well judged and perfectly on the black. He needs black and that difficult red. And as I say, with being a left-hander, the correct side of the table for him.
24.
Having said that, he might now need the rest.
Quick glance at the scoreboard. The red to go 30 points in front with only 27 remaining at full stretch. But it's there.
25.
And another frame drifts away from Ding Junhui. Had his chance.
Three snookers needed. And it's going to be 4 in a row for the Australian. And, well, Ding Junhui could have won at least 2 of them.
Robertson, 32.
Normally would concede, but he's going to carry on. Yeah, we usually say 3 snookers required, but it's maybe at least 6 because Neil Robertson's going to hit some of them. Maybe Ding will concede now. think ever since Mark King come back against Ricky Walden earlier in the Grand Prix and won the match in the deciding frame, needing 3 snookers.
2.
Well, that's all purely academic. Ding Junhui does concede, and the Australian continues. That's 4 in a row, and he now leads 8-4.
Well, I was going to ask Stephen John whether they felt that that spells the end of the resistance from Ding, but judging by the fact that he decided to play on needing 3 snookers, maybe not.
Well, no, but I do feel that Neil Robertson's realised that he's very, very close now. If all he has to do is to play sort of captain sensible type of stuff, and perhaps the mistakes will start to come. He played a pretty granite style of snooker there in the early part of that. I didn't expect him to miss into the middle pocket. He potted a fantastic black in that was a match loser if he'd missed it, but all of a sudden he does seem to have lost the thread a little bit. Neil Robertson may not have to do too much else to get over the line here.
He's full of adrenaline, I would imagine now, John, being in this situation. By contrast, how much fatigue starts to set in from Ding Junhui's perspective?
Well, it's not so much fatigue, it's just a disappointment to see the balls he's missing. And he's come to the point now where we can sometimes call it desperation stakes, where what do? You come out and actually attack and have a go. He hasn't done it all evening. He's actually been a little bit on the negative side. And he's weakened a little bit more than Robertson. Robertson is not playing at his best, but at the moment he doesn't have to, because, to be honest with you, he's getting chances and plenty of them.
Why do you think he's been so conservative this evening, Steve?
Well, I think it's just sometimes perhaps the way a match goes or a session goes. He's had a bad session. That's really it in a nutshell. So, one particular frame when he chose not to go into the pack of reds a couple of times magnifies the possibilities that he was playing sort of slightly negatively. But I don't. It's just the way snooker is, you know. Unless he can kickstart his own sort of adrenaline in a very short space of time, then this is the order of the day for him. But sometimes it's just the way it is.
Just maybe a case now. I mean, at the moment things aren't happening for him. He's playing against Neil Robertson, who's playing good tactical stuff. Nothing's happening. It may just be a time now to chance his arm for a couple of games and get in there and try and get himself going. You know, attack things and have a go and try and rescue the match from it. At the moment, the way it's going, there's only one winner.
Yeah. Dennis, John, in the commentary box, how do you read what Ding Junhui's got to do, and how do you see it from Neil's perspective tonight?
Well, to be honest with you, Hazel, I agree with John Parrott. I think now's the time. I thought it was a couple of frames ago that the time had come to use his strength, and he's a great potter, great break builder, and just put pressure on Neil Robertson, but he's been able to do that. And we've been saying for the last couple of seasons, Dennis, he's been disappointing. We hark back all the time to that game against Ronnie O'Sullivan in the Masters, where he had a chink in his armour, didn't he?
Yeah, and we all thought he'd recovered from that and was back to his best. But as Steve says, Neil Robertson has been like granite here this evening.
Thank you. Frame 13. Ding Junhui to break.
Decent break-off regarding length of the cue ball, but he's left a pot on here to the right corner.
It'd be interesting to see if he takes it on, because he has been playing very tight snooker this evening, and he just wants to win this match. We know that he's a brilliant break builder and he loves to attack. If he can get it round the back of the black and red, he will take it on. And is this the sort of shot that might get Ding in, believe it or not? Let's see how close he gets to this. There you go. The chances there for Ding. But look where the black's gone.
I was just going to say, that's what happens in this game. When you need a bit of luck, you never seem to get it. Well wide of the pot, but he's nudged the black off its spot. And this now makes it a difficult opportunity, but it is a chance.
One.
He may have to take the long blue on. The reason he's finished there, he didn't pot the red cleanly. No, he's not even looking at the blue, and he's continuing, you
Ding
know,
Junhui, 1.
most of the time I've watched Ding, he would have got down and took the blue on and played for the red. A couple of reds that were available, but he's still playing tactical snooker, and it has to be said it's not quite working.
Foul.
The last
Ding
two
Junhui,
shots
4.
must give him a little bit of hope, because Neil's long attempt and then this safety, he's hit them both very poorly, and that must give Ding a little bit of inspiration. That's okay. A couple of reds he can play on. And get on the one to the left of the pink. And if he gets on it in such a way, he can go into the pink and black maybe. I think he's lost his rhythm and timing at the moment, John.
1.
Yes, and it's a very, very lonely place when you're not cueing well. And that's not the first easy shot he's missed. You just want the ground to swallow you up when this starts to happen. Just making it easier now for Neil Robertson.
1.
And there is always pressure on a player when he only needs one frame with the winning line in sight, but with Ding missing easy pots like he's doing, he's taking any pressure that might come completely off Neil Robertson.
Seven. Eight.
Played it well. Released the black there. It will be available in a few shots' time, you would feel. Is this the chance the Australian has been waiting for?
14.
And when you think he only turned professional in 1998, every chance of taking his 4th world ranking title. That is some doing, isn't it, John?
15.
Yes, a terrific potter and got a good solid all-round game, and of course what he's also got is that Australian grit and determination.
There was a lovely little piece about him talking about his childhood and that, and it was quite moving that. His parents divorced when he was a youngster. He didn't take the game up until
21.
he was 14. Played a bit of pool with his dad back in Melbourne.
22.
I mentioned the black would be available in a couple of shots' time. It will have to go up onto the green spot, but he won't bother about that.
$29. 30.
Well, that just wiped its feet a little bit. Neil was walking around, but I thought that was going to stay on the pocket there.
Certain
36.
frames can turn matches, and I think we can look back to the 9th frame, in all honesty. They were all square at 4 apiece. They had a 57-minute frame. Could have gone either way. Both players had chances, and maybe that was the turning point. And I think you referred to it in the last frame, Dennis. It just seemed to take the edge off both players, but more so off Ding Junhui. But that's the nature of this game. It can't all be about potting and break building.
Well, it hasn't worked out perfectly for him. The one will still pot in the middle, but will it when the pink goes back on its own spot?
43.
That's a difficult cut he's faced with. So is there another twist to this final? This is far from easy, and he's got to get round to leave himself on the pink. That's right in the centre of the pocket, and he's on the pink.
44.
He played the cannon perfectly. The chance is there now. That one little cannon has left Neil Robertson with a great chance to take his second Grand Prix title. And Ding, he'll be very, very disappointed because he carries the flag for his country.
50.
There'll be over 100 million people watching him back home, and that's a big pressure to carry. But if he goes on to lose, there's some of Ding's fans there. If he does go on to lose this frame and match, he still should be proud of his performance here in the Grand Prix, John.
Oh yes, he's a great player. Just a question mark now though in my mind. When he first came on the scene, won the UK Championship, I thought there's a certain world champion. There's just something missing at the moment that just won't take him to that upper echelon of the game. He's always going to be a dangerous opponent, but 51. You can't miss easy balls at this level when you're in, and he's done that this evening. But Neil Robertson has taken advantage of everything, and of course during this match he made his 100th century break in tournament play. That's a milestone for any player.
Well, it's not over just yet, but he's not many pots away from
57.
securing this year's Grand Prix.
$58.
Just this pink and one more red.
Mark Williams will take the highest break prize, a break of 142. He made it against Ding. It was the only frame he won.
64.
Ding's already got his bow tie off. He's undoing his shirt. He knows that this is the end, but
65.
And Neil Robertson absolutely delighted. There was a question mark when they started this match today. How much did that victory over John Higgins in the semi-final take out of him? And the answer, not a lot. Because he's produced the goods today when it mattered. He's mixed it up, he's potted great balls, made good breaks.
71.
and the Aussie does rule.
$74. 75.
Wouldn't it be great if he finished with a century? It would be his 101st century break of his career.
81. 82.
He really has mixed it well, John. He's been solid, as Steve Davis said. He's played like granite this evening, and now he's showing us just what he can do.
Yes, and refer back to that semi-final against John Higgins.
87.
One of the best matches I think we've ever had, and it was all about handling the pressure, and he did that, just playing a bit of an exhibition
89.
shot there, but he's not quite hard enough for this green. So that 101st century may not be on, but I don't think he'll matter. He'll have plenty of time to do that. He missed it completely. But it won't matter. Neil Robertson from Melbourne, the Thunder from Down Under, beats Ding Junhui. Not a classic, but we will remember his performance in the semi-final against John Higgins. He'll remember the century breaks that made it 100 in tournament play. A tremendous performance. Look at the delight on his face. He beats the Chinese sensation, Ding Junhui, by 9 frames to 4. Well done.